Hi, Internet viewers. Frank Rauscher again. We're back at it. The last time we got done, we finished all of the feathers on this side. We shaped the rump area here, and we got the tail feathers thinned out so that we're pretty thin on here, as you can see. Okay, and I'm going to bring this around so that you could see the thickness we have. It's minimal. So what I'm going to show you now, instead of doing the burning on the top, what we're going to do is we're going to put in, and I'm going to show you how to put the feathers on the bottom of the tail, and then we'll go back and start burning. Okay, so bear with me and I'll show you how to do it. Okay, here we go. What I'm going to bring up now is the drawing that I have. This feather grouping right here, which is on the underneath side of our tail. This is before we mark them out. This is what I'm going to try to put on over here, and I'll show you how to do that. And what you're going to notice is this feather is lower than the top, so we'll be starting a little lower on that, and same way on the other side, and then it cascades up, and this is like shingling. Okay, each one is moving forward towards the middle here. Okay, so let me show you. Let me just give you some thickness to go through. I'm going to do this in, excuse me, in millimeters here. We have about, excuse me, 10 millimeters for the width of this feather. And your back, if I were to measure it, you got 10, 20, 30, 40 millimeters from here. So if I lay this roughly right here, did I do that right? Nah, or maybe I did. 10, 20, 30, 40. So we want to do it from here. And that would be right about here. So here's what we got. This is about 10 millimeters wide. And this end here is where your C turns. So, and this is a little smaller. If you notice, this is necking down. So if we take millimeters at the end here, and we measure that, it's probably about 7 millimeters back down here. So from the end in, I'm going to measure about 7 millimeters from the outside edge to about here. So from here in, right where that line is, this is that rump that's out there. And so this is about 7 millimeters across. Up here is about 10. So if you came up here and went to the outside and measured 10, just roughly, I'll put that there, okay? So we would run a line that comes out from the 7, hits the 10, and we know we want to be back here. So we turn the C right here, and we bring this up, and we bring that around, okay? So that'll be our first feather. on this side. Now, we're really doing same thing symmetrically. Let me see if I got this right, just to make sure I'm not. It's about 7. And I'm right there. It looks like it would be bigger, but it isn't. So where this is, I'm going to come over here. And if you drew like a perpendicular line from the center line and came out, and you just want to zero in on where this is, the C, that was where the C would be, right here. So I'm going to place the C coming around, and then I'm going to make the C turn. Okay, well, I'm going to take a look at that just to make sure that we are perpendicular. Yeah, pretty close, pretty close. Maybe a little bit further back, just a little bit more. I'm going to just inch it back a little bit more. So I got the C here. I'm going to eyeball 7 millimeters. Then I come out. Now I got similar feathers. So what we have here, when you count, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the center one makes 6. It's the same way from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the center one makes 6. Okay, so the next one is piggybacking off of the other one, and it's roughly, I would say, each one of them is about 2 millimeters apart. Okay, going down. So I'm going to eyeball it, but you can measure it or you can eyeball it. I'm going in the same direction as this line here, but I'm 2 millimeters out. So I'm going to run a line that's parallel to that one. Then I'm going to come up, and as if you notice, this comes around and just fades right into here. Okay, just like that. And that's that one. Then I'm going to come over here, 2 millimeters out, come around, and I'll swing this up. And we're going to come up here, and then I'll fade that out right in there. Now that gives you those two. Now I'm going to come out again, 2 millimeters, draw a parallel line to these. Then I'm going to come up, and again they piggyback off of each other, but it comes about to the middle of this feather now. So I'm going to come up here, swing around, and come right to there and end it there. Okay. Then the next one is going to do the same thing. I'm going to come up, swing around, come out a little bit further than this one on each one, and piggyback right into the middle of that feather. So now we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we got to go for 5, and 5 is just shy of dead center, but we could do it this way. We can almost follow the center line, almost. And then we come up, and that's going to go out a little bit further, and then turn. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to go on the other side, and we're going to do the exact same thing. we're gonna come out 2 millimeters from this one, make it parallel. Okay. And I know I make it look easy somewhat because I can draw, but practice, do it lightly. And when, there's a good eraser, so don't think everybody's got to be an artiste. Some of you will be able to do this real easy, and then others will have to erase it a little bit, so no big deal. I erased a lot when I got started. I think I took that over too far. Yeah, that one wants to go right into the middle of this one. Right in the middle of that C, like that. Then I'll get another one. This is number 4. Parallels this line right here. Comes up. Goes out a little bit further. And you're trying to make this look symmetrical. So whatever you did on this side, you should be doing on this side. So just to keep you on board here. Okay, and then 5 will be right almost on center, almost. And then we'll come up. Then you turn. And you're coming into the middle of this feather. So you turn and get a C in there. And it piggybacks right off the middle of this one. Now, should look symmetrical about that center line we had in there, okay? And if I didn't mention that to you, this center line that we have going down here was on edge here, and then I just drew it straight up here so that we had that center line back. And that's our guide, okay? Now, that should match up with what we have here. You do have excess material out here that we'll bring in a little bit, okay? Not much, but some. So the first thing I want to do is to burn all these in so I don't lose them. So I'm going to get my burning unit, and I'm going to also get my optimizer so that I could see what I'm doing. Which really helps a lot for me anyway. I'm going to come in. I got my burner going. I'll lay that right on the line. I'm walking it down. Making sure I'm on the line. Then I'm turning. Remember, we do like a half a C, then we come back and we did a full one, like right there. Okay. Then I get the next one, lay it right on the line, come on down. And turn, bring this around, right onto there. And I get the next one, and we keep on doing this until we have the whole outline burned in, so that this acts as a stop when we send our bit in to shape these feathers. So I'm going to come around and hit that. Then I'm going to come on the next one, ride that line. Sometimes riding that line, it gets a little tricky, but take your time. And if you get off, just stop and resurrect it again. You always do a little sanding and then pencil it again. Here's the fifth one. Coming up, around, right there. Okay, so we got the 5 on that side. Now we got to get the 5 on this side. So I'm going to come in here, come down. Now, because this is curling around this way, I'm going to start out here. Bring that around. And join up, okay? And I'll always try to do the straightaways first because you can see that pretty well. You want to keep them straight as you can get. And I'll stop there, and then I'll come back here. And I want to turn this right onto there. And then finish it up. So it looks like it has a nice neat curve. Okay. Then I'll do another one. And take your time because you can get off track real easy. And you got to be steady. Go. You don't want to rush, at least outlining these, or you end up with a whole different configuration of a feather if you rush it. So the idea is to take your time. I find burning is relaxing to me, but it may be a little tedious to you if you're just doing this for the first time too, okay? But it takes practice. I did not accomplish something like this the first time I did this. And if I can state that to you, that is a fact. Now, the one thing we didn't do, see, the top feather in the middle makes the full count, and that would be a feather that came out here and popped in here. So that gives you your full count then. This is the top feather, which is right here, okay? And these are piggybacking off each other just like they are going downhill too, okay? So now that we have that, oh, and one thing I didn't say to you before we even start this process, and I did on the last video, but I want to reiterate that. I want you to sand this real nice and smooth in here. You have a dished area so that when we go to burn, this is pretty smooth, or as smooth as you can get, you know. And you could get into like some hand sanding, you know. I had showed you these devices and you come in and you can sand with these, but you can get a piece of, I don't know what I did with it. I have more sandpaper around that I can shake a stick at, but you can get a piece of sandpaper and just do it by hand and hand sand it right on through there too, you know. I have these rotary sanders and everything else, which makes life a little easier to get through here. But, you know, you could do hand sanding, just regular hand sanding. Just pick it up and just sand through it. This is before we even start this, okay? So now that we have that in there, I'm going to go with our flame tip ruby, which is this one here that I've utilized as far as lifting a lot of feathers, okay? I'm going to leave it out a little bit because I don't want to get it in too far. And I go full speed on my machine, which is like around 45,000. It could be anywhere from 35 to 45,000 RPMs. Now, just to aid ourselves a little bit, remember we had a little bit of white showing on the outside here? I'm going to ask you to come in with the middle of the bit and just bring some of that in. Just a little bit. Just to get it more true, so that the back and the front are pretty much the same. This will bring this. And what I'm doing is just taking care of the material that's just outside, and I'm using like the middle of the bit to look straight in and take it down. Okay. Need to go a little bit more. Not quite there. Okay. Now, what I'll do is I'll start on this one. I'm going to bring this feather out. So I'm going to undercut by getting my point right up onto the burn. And I'm going to drag this out this way a little bit. And I'm going to come this way. And I'm coming down. And I'm actually on an angle. I'm lifting this so I don't lose the burn. At the same time, I'm trying to make a pass that's going to cover not this feather, but the feather below it, so that I'm undercutting from here to here without going into the next one and lowering that down. And I'm coming all the way around. I don't know if you can see that well or not. Now I'm going to do this next one. I'm undercutting behind the burn, coming down, all the way down to the rump. So I'm getting that point right into the burn so that it's going down into there. Then I'm going to go to the next one. And if you don't have a flame tip, you can use the bullet, the diamond bullet that I use a lot as well. That is very good as well too. And sometimes using a diamond has got real fine grit, and you can really get in there. And that will clean it up, cut faster too. So, and we have one more here on this side. Notice I haven't really banged into the feathers other than just the ones that are necks going down. Like I just did the center, well, the fifth one. But when I undercut it, I didn't really lose any of the burn on this side because I'm tilting my point, my ruby flame upward. Where when I told you to do it over here, I asked you to flatten it more so that we would get this profile. In this case, I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about just maintaining a slope inward like. Okay. Now, I'm going to come in here. And I'm going to go just a little deeper on this side, right down the center here. Okay, so we now have it so that if I get my nail in there, you got some grab that you've got it just deep enough. It's not like you're going to kingdom come with that. You're not. So I'm going to start on this side. I'm going to start this way. I'm coming down. And then when I get to the end, I'm going to swing this around. I'm trying to get this whole thing sort of smooth, coming all the way around. Okay. And then I'm going to do the next one. And if you notice, as I pass, you're seeing me take some of the shadow off of the feather from below and level that out. And that's what I'm trying to do. Each one is starting to look like it's under the next one. And that's, we're trying to get that illusion that we're showing it one on top of the other. And I get that point of the bit right up to the burn line. Then we have this last one right to there. So now we have all of them lifted on both sides enough that I'm satisfied with. We still have a problem in the sense that we have thickness between this burn and this surface here, and this feather looks like it's about 2 millimeters thick, and it isn't. And we're really thick on the end. So what we have to do is give it the illusion that it's really thinner, and it's a lot thinner. So what we're going to do is I'm going to come in with a pear-shaped diamond, and I'm going to come into this feather and sort of hollow it a little bit. I'll sort of run the bit down here and then blend it back and forth to make this a little bit of concave all by itself. So let me do that. You can get this bit out and get your diamond pear. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come right down the middle. Hope you can see this okay. And I'm making it a little concave or in there, okay, like we made a little bit of a trench right in there. Not a lot, but then I'm going to come up from there and slope this down into there. And when I do that, I want to thin this out a little bit on edge. So be careful when you do this. I want to bring this down. I still want to stay within the confines of this feather. Now, we reduced it, but we didn't reduce it a whole lot. So let me just do something here. I'm just going to get my pear on edge here. Not that that's taking it down any, but I'm going to come back in here some more. I like to do this gradually so I keep it in control. And I hope I'm still in focus here, not go out of the range of the camera. And I want to bring that down. I want to try to get this 2 millimeter from here to that edge up top down to about 1 millimeter. okay? So I'm sort of thinning out this edge right in here. And I'm trying to do this with a controlled trimming here. I'm trying to take it down gradually so that between my two fingers, there's only about maybe 1 millimeter in thickness between there, okay? And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to hollow out, just like this. And I can see I left a little edge in here, so I'll have to go back and clean that up. But we're going to hollow out right in here. And then this will be like the high point, and the valley is down in here. And we'll do it this way. I'll get the point of the pear right down the middle. Okay, then I have an edge here that maybe you can see and maybe you can't, but I'm going to transition that up to the inside edge here. Okay, now I'm going to turn this around and I'm going to try to reduce this outside edge. Okay, so I'm going to come in here. And we're getting kind of thin out there, which is good. So as long as I keep a little bit of a swale on either feather, that's what I want. Okay? And at the same time, watch how thin you want to get here. I'm also going to run my pear just on edge there to bring that in just a little bit more. And then I'm going to swing this up. I hope I didn't go out of camera range again, because I tend to do that. And what I did is I ran, if I did go out, I went along this edge, but then I'm trying to reduce this down. And at the same time, if I see bumps, and I do right here, I'll just slightly soften it. And the best way to do that is, just like I showed you before, is you get some sandpaper, hand sanding it. You just go in there, down the middle, and sand that out to get it nice and smooth, okay? I see a little bit of a bump right in there. Let me get another side up here where I got some more grit. There we go. And then you can see how thin that gets. I hope you can. And that's about what we're trying to achieve. Then I'm going to come back on this side and sand that. Okay. I think I could be a little thinner onto the outside, and you could do that with hand sanding as well. So that looks pretty good right there. And that looks really good on that one. And I'll show you, if we happen to have a little bit more than we need up here, I'll show you how to take care of that too. So, now, okay, well, some of the things I just wanted to mention to you, as far as getting the burning pen in, you want to get that quill back as far as you can, and then do some texturing on either side to make these feathers look continued on both sides. I went in there and burned it on its edge, and I completed the top. On the next video, I will go in and I'll show you how to finish this side. I did this side already. And like I said, you want to put a quill down the middle, and then right in the middle of the C's here. And also, there was a quill down the center feather here as well. Okay, so I hope you got something out of this video. If you did, I'd ask you to give me a thumbs up. And if you have somebody or a friend that may be interested in doing some of this, I have done different birds. This happens to be a great horned owl, and we're really moving on this now. And we'll be starting in probably on the next video on the head and moving our way down into the breast area. So please give me a thumbs up, and if you could refer me to a friend and let them know that these videos are available, I'd appreciate that. And we will take you on our journey here trying to finish this out. And it is starting to shape up. So hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next video. And if you ever need anything, I do have kits available on the owl, on cardinal, on the wrens, the chickadees. I did mother and baby otters. So if you need anything, give me a holler. The kits are complete with the eyes, the blanks. This is a basswood blank, and the pattern, the eyes, and feet. If the feet are involved, you'll get that as well. So definitely get a hold of me. My email address, and you can also put this in the comment section of the video. My email address is Rauscher, R-A-U-S-C-H-E-R, Frank, F-R-A-N-K, 7 @gmail.com. And I hope to hear from you. And if you have any questions at all about the process or the products, please give me a holler. I usually have things available, both the machinery, the bits, sanders, and what have you. So see you in the next video, and we'll march on.